I spent 10 years saving every single dollar to buy my dream house. And the man who told me I'd never be good enough, he thought I'd just hand him the keys for free. If you've ever been told you're not good enough, and then prove them completely wrong, hit subscribe. This story is about standing up after 15 years of being pushed down. My name is Linda. I'm 24 years old, and I'm a nurse at a local hospital. I live alone in a house that I bought with my own money after 10 years of saving. I work hard, I pay my bills, and I mind my own business. But my life wasn't always peaceful like this. Growing up, I lived with my mom, Susan, and my stepdad, Richard. My real dad left when I was 5, and my mom remarried when I was 9. That's when Richard came into our lives. From the outside, we probably looked like a normal family. But behind closed doors, it was a completely different story. Richard made my childhood a living nightmare. And this is the story of how I finally stood up to him after 15 years of abuse. I was 9 years old when Richard first told me I was worthless. My mom, Susan, had married him just 3 months before. I was still trying to be a good daughter, trying to make this new family work. That morning, I woke up early and made breakfast. Just scrambled eggs and toast. Nothing fancy. I was so proud of myself. I put the plate in front of Richard with a big smile. I thought he'd be happy. He looked at the eggs. Then he looked at me. His face was full of disgust. "This is disgusting, Linda," he said. He pushed the plate away from him. "You can't even cook eggs. What's wrong with you?" I was 9 years old. My mom laughed nervously. She said, "It's okay, honey. I'll make new ones." But Richard wasn't done talking. "She's too soft, Susan. Look at her. She's about to cry over nothing. You're making her weak." I wasn't crying. Not yet. But when he said that, tears started falling down my face. And that made him smile. Like he was happy he hurt me. He shook his head and walked away. That was the first day of 15 years of hell. Living with Richard wasn't just hard. It was like drowning slowly. Every single day, he found something wrong with me. He worked only 12 hours per week at a hardware store. That's it. 12 hours. The rest of the time, he sat on the couch and complained about everything. My mom worked 50 hours every week. She was a dental hygienist. She came home exhausted, but she still had to cook, clean, pay bills, and take care of the house. Richard did nothing. He just sat there and criticized her. But his favorite person to attack? Me. "Linda, why do you walk like that? You look stupid. Linda, you're 14 and you don't know how to change a tire? You're useless. Linda, you'll never get a boyfriend. You're too weird. Nothing I did was right. If I dressed nice, he said I was trying too hard. If I studied hard, he said I was wasting my time on books. When I said I wanted to be a nurse, he laughed and said nursing was for people who couldn't get real jobs. When I got my driver's license, he told me I'd crash the car and kill someone within a month. When I graduated high school with honors, he said the school had low standards and my grades didn't mean anything. Every single thing. My mom would sometimes say, "Richard, stop it." But she never really defended me. I think she was too tired, too beaten down. She'd married him, and now she felt stuck. When I turned 16, I made a promise to myself, I'm getting out of here. And I will never depend on anyone like him ever again. I started working when I was 17, 2 jobs while I was still in high school. I worked at Starbucks before school in the mornings. Then I worked at a clothing store on weekends. Every paycheck I got, I saved most of it. I put it in a secret bank account that Richard didn't know about. I lived at home during college to save money. I went to a cheap state school and worked 30 hours a week while taking classes. It was exhausting. My friends were going to parties, going on trips, having fun. I couldn't do any of that. I wore the same 5 outfits for 2 years and saved every dollar I could. Richard made fun of me the whole time. "You think you're special because you work so much? You'll never afford anything real. You're wasting your time." But I didn't stop. I kept going. For years of college. I graduated with my nursing degree. Then 2 more years of working double shifts, saving every penny, skipping every fun thing. My friend Jessica used to beg me to take a break. "Linda, you're 23. Go out and live your life." But she didn't understand. I had to prove him wrong. I had to build something that was completely mine. Something he could never touch or ruin. And finally, at 24 years old, I did it. I bought my house. It wasn't some giant mansion. It was a small 3-bedroom house in a quiet neighborhood. The floors were old hardwood, a little scratched, but beautiful. The kitchen was outdated. The bathroom had tiles from the 1980s. But I didn't care. It was mine. Every single inch of it belonged to me. The day I got the keys, I sat on the empty living room floor and cried. Not sad crying, happy crying, relieved crying. For 15 years, Richard told me I was weak, that I'd never do anything with my life. And here I was, owning my own house at 24 years old. I didn't tell Richard. I didn't even tell my mom at first. I just quietly moved my stuff over 2 weeks ago and changed my address. For 6 beautiful months, I lived in complete peace. Then my mom called me. Her voice was shaking on the phone. Linda, sweetie, something happened. My heart dropped. What's wrong? Are you okay? I fell at work. I broke my hip. The doctors say I need surgery and months of physical therapy. I drove to the hospital right away. When I saw my mom in that hospital bed, looking so small and scared, my heart broke. Even after everything with Richard, she was still my mom. I still loved her. I'm here, Mom, I said, holding her hand. We'll figure it out together. But things got worse fast. She couldn't keep her job while she recovered. She lost her income. And without her paycheck, they couldn't pay their mortgage anymore. Richard's 12 hours a week at the hardware store barely paid for groceries. 2 months later, they were losing their house. My mom called me crying one night. Linda, I don't know what to do. We've looked everywhere, but we can't afford rent anywhere with just Richard's income. I know this is asking too much, but could we stay with you? Just temporarily. Just until I heal and can work again. My heart hurt for her. My mom had worked so hard her whole life. She'd supported Richard while he did nothing. And now she was losing everything. But then she said we. Mom, I said slowly, when you say we, do you mean? Me and Richard, yes. Just for a few months, honey. Please. My whole body tensed up. 15 years of abuse flashed through my mind like a nightmare. Every insult, every time he made me feel small and worthless, every single moment he told me I'd fail. And now he wanted to live in MY house. The house I worked 10 years to buy. Let me think about it. I told her. I didn't sleep that night. I walked around my house, back and forth, thinking. The idea of Richard living here, touching my things, criticizing my home, acting like he belonged here, it made me feel sick. But my mom needed help. Real help. By morning, I knew what I had to do. You can come see the house, I told my mom. Both of you. This Saturday. The days before they visited, I felt anxious and angry at the same time. Part of me wanted to clean everything and make it perfect. Another part of me wanted to do nothing, just to see what Richard would say. Saturday afternoon, they arrived. My mom moved slowly with her walker, looking around with wide eyes. Linda, this is so beautiful, she said, looking at my living room. You did all this by yourself. Yes, Mom. 10 years of saving. Richard was silent. He walked through my house like he was a home inspector looking for problems. He touched the walls. He frowned at the floor. He knocked on the door frames. Then he started talking. These floors are terrible. Look at these scratches. You got ripped off. My chest felt tight. This kitchen is so old. You didn't ask for new appliances. What were you thinking? My mom looked at him. Richard, stop. And this trim work is sloppy. Who did you hire? They did a terrible job. I took a deep breath. He wasn't even living here yet, and he was already doing it. Already tearing down what I built. We sat down at my kitchen table. The table I bought with my own money, in my own house. I looked at my mom. Mom, I need to tell you something. She nodded, looking nervous. I glanced at Richard, then back at her. You can stay here. For as long as you need. Until you're healed and back on your feet. This is your home if you need it. Relief washed over her face. Oh, Linda, thank you so much. But he can't. Complete silence. Richard's face went from confused to bright red in 2 seconds. What did you just say? You heard me, I said. My voice was steady and calm. Mom can stay here. You cannot. You ungrateful little. Ungrateful. I stood up. 15 years of anger came up with me. Ungrateful for what, Richard? For you calling me useless my entire childhood? For you making fun of everything I did? For you working 12 hours a week while my mom destroyed her body taking care of you? I raised you. No, you didn't raise me. You just lived in the same house and made my life miserable. There's a big difference. My mom was staring at me with tears in her eyes, but she wasn't saying anything. Richard stood up. His hands were shaking. Susan, are you hearing this? Your daughter is trying to destroy our family. Our family. I laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. You made sure I never felt like part of your family. You made that very clear for 15 years. And now you want me to give you a place to live? After everything you did to me? You deserve nothing from me. Not one single thing. He turned to my mom. Susan, say something. Tell her she's wrong. My mom was quiet for a long time. Then, very softly, she said, She's right, Richard. His face went completely white. She's right, my mom said again, louder this time. You treated her horribly. I should have stopped you years ago. I should have protected her. But I didn't, and I'm so sorry, Linda. I'm so sorry. I felt tears burning in my eyes, but I didn't let them fall. You can stay with me, Mom. But I meant what I said. He cannot. Richard exploded. He started screaming. Isn't that interesting? Richard eventually found a basement apartment 40 minutes away. It was cheap because it was small and dark and not very nice. He called my mom every single day, begging her to leave my house and come back to him. She said no every time. I spent 15 years choosing him over everything, she told me one night. We were sitting in my living room. I chose him over my own happiness. I chose him over you. I'm done, Linda. I'm filing for divorce. I hugged her so tight. 3 months passed. My mom was walking without her walker now. She found a part-time job at a dental office and started saving money again. Richard's family stopped calling after I blocked all their numbers. And Richard, last I heard, he was still in that basement apartment, still working 12 hours a week, still angry and bitter. But here's the truth. I didn't ruin his life. He ruined his own life. I just stopped letting him ruin mine. Some people will say that setting boundaries makes you a bad person. That family means accepting abuse and staying quiet. But here's what I learned. You don't owe anyone access to what you've built, especially if they spent years trying to tear you down. My mom is happy now. She's healing. And me. I finally have the peace I worked 15 years for. And I'm never giving that up for anyone. Okay, real talk for a minute. When I first read Linda's story, part of me thought, is she being too harsh? The guy's losing his home. But then I really thought about it. This man spent 15 years verbally abusing a child. 15 years calling her worthless while barely working and contributing almost nothing. And the second he needed help, he expected her to just hand it over like she owed him something. Here's my honest opinion. Linda didn't destroy Richard. She just stopped being his safety net. And that's not revenge. That's called consequences. Some people spend their whole lives tearing others down, never thinking that one day those same people might have the power to say no. So was Linda justified? I think she absolutely was. If you agree, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about standing up for yourself. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think Linda did the right thing, or did she go too far? I want to hear what you think. I'll see you in the next video.